All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. We are back on another Friday, another crazy ass antique to find. We're glad to have you with us. We have a couple people missing tonight, but we may have one. The genie that we all dream of will probably join us at some point, probably after the break. So we're excited to have Julia come back with us. But here we are, another Friday. We're glad to have you with us, and boy, I'm excited. I'm excited about tonight. We are kind of getting towards the end of this, I think, which means that if I'm this excited about the end of this, and everybody else is so excited about the end of this, that means we're probably going to do some more of this. And I will say that upcoming, I think starting May 24th, is our anticipated start date. I'm going to be running another game of Vampire the Masquerade. Uh,
Ooh.
and I'm still kind of coming up with the title of it. It'll probably be some various pun of blood and roads and blood. You know how you do this when you're playing vampire. You have to say blood and something. Anyway, but that's coming up, so we're getting ready to do that, and I think we've got some more other stuff coming up. So we're raring to go.
Yeah.
Um, just to kick things off and thinking about the end of things, I think a fun question to ask everyone as I put on my mischievous grin.
Oh.
What is your favorite movie about the end of days, the end times, the apocalypse? Um, I'm going to probably say a controversial choice for various reasons. And I think it's because both as an archaeologist and both as it's kind of a not so great film, and because it's probably not really about the end of days specifically, but I think my favorite film about the end of things is a film called Apocalypto. It's pretty visually stunning. It gets a
Yeah.
lot of things wrong. Don't get me wrong,
hmm
ton of things wrong in that film, but man, it's cool to look at and listen to.
I forgot about that movie. I watched that in theaters.
Wow, that must have been intense in theaters.
I was with my mom. Yeah, it was very intense.
But
She did not handle it well.
yeah.
Ooh,
Uh, Anybody else have a favorite
I'm
end times
so
movie?
basic. I like World War Z. A really genuine, it's one of my favorite zombie movies. I think it's got a
Mine,
real plot. It's nice.
yeah. Mine is I have two and they are exactly like one is a sequel or a prequel I guess technically. But it's 28 days and 28 weeks later. I think that aside from just the great zombie lore, um I think that the storytelling is so good with like how humans become in that situation. So yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah, and 28 weeks later is actually a really great human interest piece too, just about like how that all
Mm.
goes down, and they almost fix it, and then humans.
Yeah, that's another one of my favorites of
Human error.
I really like zombie films.
Me too. Me too. I think they're definitely my favorite end of the world genre. Even though some of them hit a little closer to home than others. The Last of Us, if you are paying attention to
Mm.
biology in the world, fungi are
Oh.
evolving, buddy.
Don't we
Yeah.
love climate change?
Let
Oh.
us hope for the future of Super Mario Brothers and not the future of Last of Us when the fungi evolve.
What What about all those
Well,
robot bees they're spending tons of money to make instead of just spending tons of money to save the bees?
oh
Anyway, Zach, what's
boy.
Exactly.
your
Anyway,
favorite?
You know
Exactly.
what I was also
Um,
told recently is that bees apparently were taken off the endangered lists, the endangered species list. So they're just making robot bees for no reason.
no,
We live in the not the worst timeline, but we sure do live in a timeline.
it is one of the timelines of all time.
more bees.
Mhm. We sure are in a
Just
timeline.
just more
Uh,
bees.
Zach.
I have a sad one and a happy one. The sad one is Children of Men. I think it's an
Oh.
incredibly underrated movie about the end of the world, not from like such a massive like destructive element, but from a very like slow burning insidious element of just you know how we reproduce changes, and suddenly human population is just nosediving. Uh, it's really really interesting. The happy one is Wally, which is
Oh,
absolutely an end of the world movie. And
I
you can't
don't-
convince me
It
otherwise.
is.
I don't know if you saw my little flail there, but that was
Yes.
the flail of me remembering Wally was an apocalypse film.
So if we want to just take a very quick tangent, CJ was actually here for this moment, and so was my other best friend Jackie, who I live with right now, who I could be like, Jackie, come in. Um, we went to Disney and we went to go eat sushi afterwards, and the sushi restaurant was playing Wally, and so we are just having a good old time, and we're eating sushi, and it's like the end of Wally. And I don't think I've ever actually seen Wally before this moment. Um, and it's the end of Wally, and it's spoiler alert for Wally. It's when Eve is shutting down and he's like alone again. And I was in this sushi restaurant, like being really emotional. I was like very upset about it. And then I started laughing about how upset I was about it, and laughing so hard that I was crying, but that I was also really emotional crying. So I was like happy and sad crying in this sushi restaurant.
Bless.
It was a long day, just topped off by Ty experiencing Wally for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a
It'll do
great
that.
the world movie.
The power of Pixar to just annihilate us.
I don't watch a ton of apocalypse movies. But I will say that my top two movies are tied. One's post-apocalyptic, the other one is an apocalypse, and that's Shaun of the Dead and Tank Girl, baby. Like, I can't believe I'm the only one who brought up Tank Girl.
I didn't bring up Tank Girl for the same reason I didn't bring up Mad Max and The Matrix, which is I feel like that's just going. That's still going. Things have gone to hell, but we're still going.
Eh. It's
Which I guess you can make
post-end
the
of
same argument for
world.
Wally too, but still.
Yeah.
We could have this discussion forever, but I do just want to go,
Yes.
and I didn't see the end of it, but I do just want to go Snowpiercer.
Yes.
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
I really liked what I saw of it, which was most of it, and then I don't remember why. Sometimes I just don't finish a thing, even if I like it.
Oh, that's you should finish it someday. It
Oh, well,
definitely
it might have had something to do with like, because I was switching between countries for a while, so it might have had something to do with
Ah.
availability of the show, based on where I was.
it
So-
definitely
Oh, the
it-
show, not the movie. Okay.
Yeah, well, the movie's good too, but I actually
Right.
really, really, really liked the show because you get it kind of pulled out, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So,
yeah,
which can go either way,
The-
but I think it went pretty well with the show.
yeah, the movie definitely has some lines that you laugh at and then you're like,
It really do.
"Oh no. I laughed at
You-
that."
You have a tie at the end of Wally reaction to some of those lines.
Yeah.
Ian-
I think everyone's thinking of the exact same line from Snowpiercer.
I was going to say, Ian, without spoiling it for those that haven't seen it, is it that one Chris Evans line? Yeah.
Like you laugh, but you're like, I'm not supposed to laugh at this.
You shouldn't laugh at that.
This shouldn't be funny.
Many things I think that Chris Evans delivers in dramatic roles ends up being funnier than it should be. I
Yes.
think it's just him.
He's got
I will
really
be
good
honest.
comedic timing.
I will be honest. Anybody could say this line, and it's just not a well-written line for what it's trying to convey.
Without spoiling it, it's like in episode 3 when Ewan McGregor says, I saw him killing younglings. And like, you're not supposed to laugh, but nobody can say
Right.
that with a straight face. The younglings
Yeah.
with a straight face. So it's like that. But like, yeah, it's some lines are horrifying, but they're just silly. Yeah, well, interesting. Interestingly enough, none of these apocalypses are like the apocalypse y'all are
Hmm.
facing.
This is not your apocalypse.
It's just not your
This ain't your
particular.
mama's apocalypse.
And so I thought it was interesting that no one mentioned any of the kind of the classic kind of biblical end times films that I've never really been a huge fan of, like The Omen or
Eh.
I can't remember. I'm trying to remember the name of the movie where the scary ice cream man attacks they're in a diner and somebody's
Oh, is it
pregnant.
the book
Legion?
of the no the book of something? It might be Legion, but then
Legion.
there's the book
It's
of
Legion.
something. Okay.
Book of Eli is a really good
Book of
one,
Eli.
though.
I mean,
Yeah.
if we're going into biblical stuff, Good Omens.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's
Oh
that.
my God! Shit! How could I have? Oh, 'cause
I was
thought
thinking
it was
movie.
first.
And
Movie.
definitely our crew is a lot closer to Good Omens than these other movies,
Terry
which
Pratchett was the goat.
Yeah.
which I'm all about. So, speaking of that, I think we should get into it. And when we last left off, I think that we had lost Fran.
We had.
Well, we had done some things while Fran was gone too, but I think
Yes.
it's about time to return to Fran.
Yes. And I'm coming at you in this moment as a keeper, not as a hunter. I want to tell you all a little story about Fran. At the end of the 19th century, in a lush and quiet mountainside settlement in the Smoky Mountains, a series of young women were found dead. The town's doctor, who had moved there all the way from Philadelphia, found no signs of the cholera that had been ravaging the state of Tennessee, no external injuries or signs of foul play. There was no pattern to the disappearances, no regularity where the victims were found. They were from all walks of life, all different social, economic, and marital statuses. The only unifying trait that the victims shared was an above-average height. The rumor mill was abuzz with conjecture and never did come to a consensus. It must be some new boogeyman. Skinned Tom didn't leave bodies like that, and Whistling Jack didn't leave bodies at all. What else could have possibly killed those poor sweet flowers? The term for what had happened to those women had been coined over 50 years earlier in Edinburgh, Scotland, but had not reached this particular sleepy corner of Appalachia. They had been burked. The women were given swift but respectful burials, and while the town mourned, Dr. Elias Shipton got to work. He assembled his terrible contraption in a cave just outside town. It was a maze of Leyden jars and makeshift Tesla coils and a massive slipshod lightning rod, all haphazardly wired to an autopsy table. He exhumed his victims one by one in the dead of night. The voice of the cemetery told him which victim to bring up next, which parts of their corpses would best fit together. She was never quite so insistent as when it came to the eyes. They must be lapis lazuli, wine dark like the sea. Only these will do. Only hers. Her directions drove him half mad, but he couldn't draw back from the plow at this point. No, he had to see his work to the end if it killed him. Her music helped him fine-tune the voltage and amplitude needed to make the process take. If he was honest, it was all pseudoscience and only half made sense to him anyways. Yet, on he worked. Driven. Mad. The body came together like so many quilt blocks, tinctures and reagents and talismans applied just so. The work went on through the winter. By the spring equinox, he was half-starved and beyond exhaustion from his obsession, but she was finished. and all she needed was one last lightning storm. And the storm came just as the voice of the cemetery had promised, for his work had to be done in time for it. Only this storm would do. Between the music of nature's lightning and the energy in the voice's music, the process took hold. His creation shuddered and screamed to life in an explosion of sparks. However, simply being alive was not quite an accurate description for what happened, for this thing wasn't quite alive. It had no pulse, it didn't sleep, it didn't breathe, it didn't eat, it barely blinked, and yet it began to show signs of true life, having thoughts, personality, feelings, desires, memories. It was that last that scared Elias the most. He could cope with the sudden silence of the voice. Hell, most days he could reason with the thing to keep it from leaving the cave. But after she was spotted by the townsfolk wandering the mountainside, he had no choice but to barricade her inside that cave. None of that mattered at the end of the day. He had proven his hypothesis. But it was working too well. It was about a year after the storm and about a month after it had discovered its own strength that the creation asked a question Alliance had no courage to answer. What was my name before? There was only so much he could do to keep animals from going into the cave, and only so much he could do to placate its anger, and only so long he could escape its questions. He built a Faraday cage, one of the few ways he knew he could contain the energy that animated her and lured her in. He bolted the cage shut and buried it underground on the far side of young Brindlewood. Proof of concept behind him and hidden from the world, he felt safer, knowing she would never walk the earth again. 80 or so years after that night, Elias's great-grandson Cyril struck the Faraday cage with his shovel while digging for treasure, as was his wont. The town of Brindlewood was about to begin construction on a new electrical relay station in 2 days' time, but Cyril, obsessed with this cockamamie idea of buried treasure, convinced the foreman to delay just a little longer because I just know something important is buried here. That's what this journal says anyway. He found a hatch and pulled it open despite the rusted hinges. When he looked inside, he nearly dropped his flashlight out of shock. Now why would someone go to all this trouble of burying a mannequin of that size? Well, whatever the reason, it had to go in his curio collection. Besides, he needed weird stuff in his new antique shop to give it some credibility. 50 years after that, Francine Wollstonecraft broke open the gate to the relay station and slipped inside. She lifted a concrete slab easily, serving as a hidden trapdoor, and dropped into what had been her cage for so long. It had taken her decades of sneaking out to research electrical engineering and rewire the relay station to the Tesla coils inside the Faraday cage. She'd never had to use it until now. Nothing had ever been so dangerous until now. She resumed her silver throne, flipped the switch, and smiled as the chamber filled with lightning. The silhouette was just as she remembered all those years ago. The curve of her nose, those fiery eyes, the massive wings, and her unearthly music that had sung her into life. And with that, we leave Fran for now.
Brava.
Pretty spooky stuff.
If it
Love
was
it.
50 years, wouldn't it have been Bryn's grandfather?
Maybe he just lived a long time.
It was 80 years
80 years.
after.
Oh,
Um,
after she was buried
Yep,
Yes.
another
originally.
round.
Buried for 80 years,
Gotcha.
and then 50 years after dug up.
Oh, okay. I completely
Yes.
misunderstood that. I was like, oh, she's been around for a while.
She has been around for a while. 1890s to
But
the
in
1970s
The
to the
ground,
2020s.
unfortunately.
Yeah, 80 years in the ground.
Oof.
Yeah, the Antique of the Week forums are already screaming at us about the timeline.
Yeah,
No, they don't have to. I did it.
that's true.
I just did mental math to figure out how old Cyril was when he died. So I was like, no.
We're all
He
good.
was 48. It's very sad.
So, let's return to our investigators, who I think when we last left them had just stepped outside. I think we'll assume that Cyrena is convalescing dramatically on a couch or bed somewhere.
Pearl
Yeah,
left
I
her
mean,
with strict instructions, not to move a damn muscle lest she want to open that wound up.
Hmm.
And
And if I recall correctly, Asuma had just done something after after being asked not to do something, and
yes,
so I don't know where she went.
so yeah, and so Asuma has disappeared as well, and as far as you can tell, the streams are running red with blood.
I got distracted by the trumpet sound in the air,
Yeah.
and as I turn around and say, "God damn it, she's not there," and just hands up in the air. Bitch. All right,
that's a lot.
we'll sort that out later.
It's a lot all at once. Okay, we need to find Fran.
Yes, yes. I have no idea where to look. We already were all around town and looking for everybody else, and did not find her. So I guess the woods it is. Search the streets. Might as well search the trees.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Grabs her thermos, is like, here we go again.
Pen in the pocket.
Who's coming with us, Pearl?
You
Yes,
game for a hunt? Wonderful.
Oh, of course. I have
Excellent.
known Miss Fran for quite some time now, and I'd be remiss if I just stood back and let her, do
Be
whatever
lost.
she. Yeah, I mean, I
She have a habit of running off like that?
mm, I wouldn't say running off. She liked to explore. She liked to learn, and adventure. But I wouldn't say that she would run off.
Well, that's fair. I asked because it was very literally running off from me, so I didn't know if that was a habitual thing. But the exploring bit, maybe if you have any idea what she liked to explore, or is it just a different thing every time?
I mean, mostly the town and I mean,
Scratch.
she has been existing for quite some time, so perhaps she's been looking for something. I am not quite sure. She has not confided that in me. I thought maybe Asima might know, but
Oh, maybe Asuma will turn back up at some point.
Maybe she'll find Fran before we do.
Maybe she will. She's got teleportation, so she's got a bit of
Which
a leg up on us.
which I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of relying on because searching via car last time didn't do too much, and that convertible ain't exactly an off-road vehicle, but we can get about as far as we can get.
Oh,
that's what it
Asuma
is.
has been telling me I need a new car.
Huh. Well, you don't like a flying carpet?
Uh, well, it's more that my I don't that you don't all fit in mine, I think is.
Very fair.
But three
That's
of us
right.
could if we need to.
That's right. And same with this. We can fit probably about. If everybody were coming along, we probably wouldn't be able to bring Fran back easily either. So this smaller search party works for purposes of this.
Well, if we take your convertible, then we can pop the top down and Fran can have more room.
That's true. She can at least sit up.
All right, let's go.
Alrighty. Now, head to the car, and I'm pulling pulling up like a Google map and just like of the area, and I'm looking at like the surrounding wooded areas versus the town proper that we're in, trying to get a beat on like, okay, we were over here, she ran away, so this is a straight line from here. I'm trying to just search out where to go based off this, so I'm not just doing a full drive.
I hope she's okay. With all this apocalypse stuff happening and with us getting so close to finishing the shelf and what we found out about her, I'm worried that it might be affecting her somehow.
That's fair. That's fair. That's a real smart idea with the to-go box, though. You figured out that it ain't really about the shelf itself. That's gonna make things a bit easier, I think.
Oh, did you? That by the way,
I
did
hope
Brett?
so.
You had actually brought the items with
Yeah,
you. Okay.
I think we're at a point in the story now where it would be being carried with whoever's
Okay.
out of the shop. Um, or if, or someone who can defend it, but they wouldn't have left it with Cyrena because Cyrena's injured. So,
Yeah.
That's fair. Plus, if the whole point of it is to keep it mobile away from the shop, for safety,
Mm-hmm.
immediately leaving it in the shop is a bad move.
Good. Perfect. Um. So you could probably come up with some kind of a point.
Mm-hmm.
You know where the theme park was, and you know
Right.
where you were, so you can probably come up with some kind of a point that is, I don't know, triangulated between the two.
I'm assuming she ran in a roughly straight line.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of guesswork, but you kind of drive out that way,
Mm-hmm.
and you just kind of wander into the woods.
Yeah, drive out of that as far as I can for a pull off alongside the road and just go. All right, well, I ain't planning on getting stuck in the dirt, so
no, I don't
uh,
want to push a car today. Let's go walking.
yeah,
Uh,
hiking it is.
I mean, I could always just use my scrying,
You know,
which
so
I could have used last session, but there was
It's a good
plot
idea.
reasons why, or not plot reasons, but people not being here reasons why I did not.
Pearl breaking the fourth wall. I could have used my scrying last session,
you
but
know,
there's plot
honestly,
reasons.
we were in the middle of stuff anyway.
That's Pearl talking to the timeline, the parallel universes. If y'all are not aware, it's too much to explain. Anyway, I'm gonna scry. Pearl just releases infinite universe secrets casually. So yeah, I'll scry
Okay.
and look for Fran. Yeah. Oh, that's a failure. I got 5.
You get experience.
I do
Yep.
get experience. I think actually that makes me level up. I can't find my little sheet that showed my level up points. But I was close. It does not look like that is. Oh wait, no. On a miss, I still learn the target's location, but something else spots me.
Oh, that's even better.
Oh.
Um. Yeah. So you managed to. It's like I don't know exactly how the process of scrying works for Pearl, but you kind of like maybe
She has a
you.
mirror. She has a compact.
Okay.
A scrying mirror.
And so do you? Well, describe it. Like, what do you exactly do?
I think I did it in another of the it's out of character. I did it in another of the sessions. Um where she does some mumbo jumbo with her hands and makes a big deal out of it. Um with her little compact mirror because it's easy to carry around. And she'll just, and then kind of close her eyes as she's doing it, and like let her finger land on a spot on the mirror. And when she opens, she looks in the mirror and she'll see the target.
Okay. So, yeah, you see not far from you, perhaps a little bit up at the hills, you see Fran is up there. But then, yeah, you get the sense that Fran is looking back at you. And that
Fran turns, takes off her sunglasses, and just stares unblinking right at Pearl. But there is no friendliness.
Oh. Pearl does not look deterred, because I doubt if she's on a hill, I doubt she can see that far. The expression. But she does feel a little bit of an unease. She is not gonna assume that it is from Fran. So she will, like, look up, see, and just, there she is. I found her. She is just right up that way. Well, that was easier than I expected.
How
Oh, good.
convenient.
Though I would like to say I do think something has looked back at me. Tends to happen with scrying. It is not just a me thing. If you learned how to do it, you would understand. It is a two-way street.
Lovely.
I don't like that. But not for anything you've done. Just the entire concept makes me uncomfortable.
Of being perceived.
Yeah, actually. You didn't have to go so hard with that. Can we go up the hill?
Absolutely.
Great.
So they start making their way up.
Now, to set the scene just a little bit, I will say that as you go into these woods, it is a little darker than normal because the eclipse has not stopped. Which is a little unusual for an eclipse. So, it's kind of
Well,
dark.
it is the end of the world.
Well, Ian, I sent you a message
Oh, the
on
one.
Messenger. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, I saw that.
Okay, cool.
Well, I mean, at this point, sky's eclipsed, river's running red, the dead are walking the streets. I can't do shit about that. I do know that the person we're looking for is up this way, though, so I'm gonna keep going that way.
Yep. The solution to all of this and the eclipse is going to France, so I don't think we have another choice.
Okay. This whole apocalypse thing it's not really. Does this happen a lot?
Typically not, but usually it's because, it's on account of preventing it.
Okay, I guess that's our job.
Yeah. Most of my stuff has been like, checking in, making sure that everything was where it was supposed to be, stopping things from that were getting like drawn to the location, like in the middle of like in the process. I had no idea if that would be apocalyptic or not. I didn't know if it would be apocalyptic, but valuable stuff in one location, a whole bunch of creatures and critters are gonna want it, and when I'm in the area, when I find out about it,
I
gotta do
would
something.
complain that it would have been nice for my uncle to tell me about this, but I don't think he expected to die.
I don't think he expected you to die. He expected to die, nor do I think he expected you to have to deal with this anytime soon. So, yeah.
It does seem I mean, and I didn't even know any of this, except for that these were valuable things in the antique shop and that they were to be locked away. But I mean, I just assumed that it was because they were old and they were valuable. I I know I may seem like I have a lot of experience, but I cannot say that I have had to deal with or help in saving the end of the world. So I wish I could give you more comfort than that. But
Yeah.
we are all in this together, and I think that that is the best that we got right now.
Mm-hmm. And no
Obviously,
offense
they're
to
saying
any
all
of
this
you.
while they're.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, no offense to any of you, but it is a hell of a lot easier to keep a whole bunch of things that don't need to be tampered with secret when you don't tell a whole bunch of people what they are. But necessity insisted.
Well, that's a good first step. But at this point, I think we're into a problem shared is a problem halved territory.
Oh, we're
So,
here now, yeah.
Cool. Let's go have a problem. Let's go. They're still they're climbing the hill at this point, I think.
Yeah, at that point I go, Fran, you up here?
Yes.
Good, we've been looking all over for you. You get it out of your system?
You okay?
Yeah, you seemed injured when you had run off.
It takes much to harm me. I do not end easily.
Huh, we got that in common.
You see her arm is bandaged. It is mitigated.
Well, alright. You with us?
Am I?
Who you asking?
Ian?
What?
That's a keeper move.
Am I?
Are you? Like,
Am I?
You're confusing me.
Yeah,
I asked,
well,
are you,
listen,
are
we
you with
talked
us
about it. Yes.
Like, are you with us mentally? So I guess that's between you and Fran.
Mhm.
No.
She pulls her sword from. She leans down and picks her sword up from the grass and fully extends it to Theo and says, Theodore, you've been in this town for too long. Get your sword.
Well, I'm kinda have to be until we finish the whole thing that I came here for.
No, you don't. You don't have to be here. You could
Fran,
just leave.
Fran, there's an apocalypse. I don't know what's happening. Are you okay? Can we stop this? Can we not do this right now?
I swing and I'm rolling kick some ass on
Okay?
Theo.
I will. I'll roll tough and yeah.
Yep.
Or should I roll tough or should I roll something else? Or should I
kick
not
some
roll at all
ass
and just
is-
take damage?
I mean, are you
usually
fighting
don't-
back?
Yeah, are you just defending yourself, or are you?
Yeah, I'm trying to block. It's
Okay.
a big sword.
Yeah, because so you could use tough if you're trying to block or mitigate harm. I think that would be the way to do it. 'Cause
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been holding my pen the whole time, so
Yep.
it's my
yeah.
sword is on hand.
I know.
Okay.
The system doesn't have a whole lot for like.
It's
PvP.
it's plus tough for protect someone and kick some ass. So like it
Right.
just depends on, do you want to hurt me back?
Not yet.
So that's a 10. Using my big sword, which is 3 harm, hand heavy and messy.
So it's a 10. You can use that to push another harm into it. If you want.
I think I'm gonna.
Okay.
We're just immediately just bonk right into a bone.
Cool. I rolled a 12.
So you can.
I rolled a
So I
12
guess it-
blocking with my sword, which is a 2-hand 2 harm heavy with extra messy harm magic on top of it.
All right. How the heck do we do this? Okay.
I think we both take damage if you.
Yeah, do we both take damage, or does it just like bounce off of each other at that point?
Or the bouncing off gives you.
Because it's
those
sword to
hits.
sword.
Yeah, so actually do it like this because it's player versus player, and there's sort of like a again, the system doesn't have a whole lot for player versus player, so you may want to kind of negotiate it between each other exactly what you want to do here. So
All right.
the way that you could do it is that you could negotiate it that the sword is a type of armor and reduces harm. So you could use that 12 to reduce harm, the harm you're taking, or you could use the 12 to inflict harm back to Francine.
How much harm is it dealing?
My sword does. My attack is doing 4 harm.
4?
Hmm
Let's see.
I'm good with if you want to reflect some that that damage back at me.
How much would it reduce, Keeper?
I think it would. You could, since you rolled tough, right?
Yes.
So you could reduce that by like 2 harm.
Okay, I'm going to do that then, because between everything I have, I'm going to take 0 damage.
Right.
Okay.
So
Alright.
yeah, the pen just turns into that massive Buster Sword and just clang off of it.
All right.
So
So I guess that did end up just canceling out, or
yeah,
yeah. All right.
yeah, because
Great.
I'm not pushing anything back on you
Yeah.
yet. But as it clangs off, I just go,
Yeah.
you really don't want to do this.
I really do. And instead of this next attack, she's just reaching her hand out to your throat.
Does
I'm
anyone
going to kill you the way I killed Cyril, the way I should have killed Elias, the way he killed me a dozen times.
But yep. First sentence, like before the sentence is even done with kill Cyril, I'm just swinging the sword straight towards Fran's head.
Let's
I would
kick some
just like
ass.
to order a quick. I mean, it's too late, but if anybody watching has epilepsy, please
Oh,
don't.
here, I will. There.
Sorry,
You're right. I didn't think about
my
that.
own
Thank
eyes kind of got a little after it. It looked so cool though.
All right.
And this is all happening fast, but I do want to
Yep.
give Pearl and Bryn a chance to do something
Yes.
here in a second.
I mean, if you guys want to do something like to interrupt, like the reaching for my throat, swinging sword back, like absolutely. Or if you just want to do something in the midst of all that, Bryn, you're muted at the moment.
No, sorry, I was just checking chat. But yeah, sorry, my brain's not on. Bryn definitely would not let this go on for too long. I'm trying to think of when. I guess.
you. You don't have to act, but you can if you want to.
CJ, I'm gonna send you a message real quick.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. I was gonna say if y'all want to play out.
Yeah, you guys want to soliloquy a little more? Go for it.
Okay, sure. Yeah, well, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that swing then in the middle of that sentence, and I rolled an 11.
I got a 10.
Y'all stop.
I'm sorry. It's the DPS versus the tank.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
sword does 3 messy magic damage.
Yep. All right.
So-
Ouch.
so
I
he-
do. Yeah.
So you both are rolling kick ass, correct?
Yes,
Yep.
we're yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
I
there's
don't
no
mind
blocking
taking
here.
this damage. Yeah. I'm not blocking. I'm trying to.
So essentially what you can do here is that you're basically just doing harm to each other.
Yep.
Unless you want to use the I think with an 11 you could do more harm or reduce the incoming harm by 1.
I just heard that my friend was killed by the woman standing in front of me. I'm gonna add another harm onto it.
We'll just
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Yeah, you do. Good thing I have 1 armor. I have a bulwark. I was doing my energy pulse, which is just the 1 harm close area. electric, it's my animating force.
Okay, so I will take no harm. And
of
I'm
course not.
dealing forward 4 onto you with whatever reduction you have.
Ow. Yep, ouch.
So yeah,
and
this big sword just goes slicing through the air, and again, it's a massive jawbone,
Yeah.
so it's not so much a blade as it is a huge impact.
Yup. All right, I'm swinging again with the sword. I've just grabbed the scarf with one hand and just bringing down this Zweihander.
All right, I will
That's a
roll to
14.
block if I can.
That's a 14.
Yeah, no, that's a 6 for me, so no blocking.
Mark experience.
Yep.
That's a fail.
That is a failure.
Yep. So don't block and take how much damage?
Oh, well, I'm going to choose to do extra damage, so 4.
Okay. All right. So I will take half of that. All right. I am marking unstable because I haven't actually healed any of my damage this entire game.
Mm-hmm. I know. I've been keeping track.
Yep.
If you guys want to step in, do now. Go right now.
Okay.
I mean, I will say you don't have to, but yeah, we can.
Yeah,
We want to.
You're watching
We
a
would very
kaiju
much
fight
like to.
happen.
Yeah, we really want to. Just didn't want to
I
interrupt the
just
moment.
need-
The
yeah.
moment. That made
The
it sound kind of
moment.
sexy.
Sorry, I'm trying to find. I just had my
Sometimes kaiju fights are hot. I can't help that.
sheet up and not the basic moves. In a second.
All right. In the process of that, I do want to just use my tough move, not do significant damage. It might do a little bit, but I want to just plant like the flat of the blade and my foot on Fran and just do a heavy shove.
Oh.
No, what are you doing?
I'm going to knock her off of me if I can. That
I'll allow it.
that is a 13.
I mean, I'm gonna let you shove me off, but I've got this huge sword, so I'm still gonna attack you again as you do that. But I want to
Okay.
let them, before I do anything, I want to let Pearl and Bryn do their thing.
Yeah, and with the 13, you would do whatever harm you want to do, and you probably, I would say that you could take the forward to push.
Yeah, you
Francine
gonna
back
put me
up.
where you want me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it'll middle out to no harm with the armor that Fran has, because I'm pushing. I'm not like doing an actual impact, but I do want to knock Fran prone with that, just flat onto back.
Okay.
So in the fight is happening very fast.
Yeah.
I think Pearl would at least like, as swords are flying and stuff, would at least try to be like, kind of say things like hey, what's happening, what are you doing, Fran, stop, like whatever, and then when that's not happening, she's gonna like, Bryn,
I think that there was probably a moment, if you're comfortable with this, Ty, there was probably a moment where Pearl would have had to grab like full restraint, but like grab Bryn's wrist to keep her from getting involved. And then she just kind of shut down until she hears her name, and she's like, yeah, what do we do?
now I have only ever tried this once, and it did not go that well with just me, but I know there is something special in you, and I'm gonna need your help. And so
Okay.
she, like, instead of
Anything.
where she probably grabbed her arm, she moves her hand down to grab Bryn's hand. And it's just, I want you to channel as much energy as you can, and we are going to separate the two, and we are going to make sure that neither of them get any more hurt, and that we can figure things out and we can get answers, because I want them too. And she will take the scrying mirror, the compact, out, and she will throw it like in the middle of the two. And she takes her walking stick that she had, and she taps it rhythmically on the ground, and she is saying nonsense. Like, it sounds like another language. I'm not going to try to take this, pull this out of my head, but she is saying like, and it starts low until it gets very loud. And I think at that last sort of big damage done, she taps it really hard and lifts Bryn's hand up in the air. And a light shines out of the mirror, the compact mirror, and it pulls Fran inside.
Ooh. Question, what move is this? Is this one from
Big
your
magic.
playbook? I'm gonna add something extra to it. As you're doing this, you watch crackles of energy feed into the mirror to make what you're doing more effective. You realize in this moment that Fran is serving as a component to your magic. To your big magic. Yep.
All right.
I'm gonna let you learn that. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Mhm,
Ian,
mhm.
I'm assuming I'm using You Need a Lot of People too. And this spell needs to be cast at a particular place and time. And I'm just going with the clashing of the timing of like their hits.
Okay.
If you are okay with that, you can also.
Yeah, is Bryn assisting?
Yeah, my question is, would I be using magic, which makes sense contextually, or helping out, because technically I'm helping out?
I would personally. It was Pearl's intention for obviously help, but for Bryn to utilize what what Pearl knows she has.
Yeah, you could use whatever you think Bryn is feeling right now.
It would be magic, I think. I think that also, yeah.
Like,
There's a lot of reasons I think that would be magic. I don't need to soliloquy about them right now.
Like, are you internally pulling out like your abilities, or are you just utilizing the power of friendship?
Oh no, she's definitely pulling on her abilities.
Okay.
We've basically seen so far that the only time Bryn has used magic is when she was at the end of her rope. Which
I have dramatically shortened your rope with the knowledge that I just dropped.
Yeah.
the rope is short. The
It's
rope
not
is
as long.
fraying. And yes, and I'm so sorry that I do this every single time. Are there additional dice
No,
to my plus,
Only-
or is it?
only 2d6.
Yeah.
Only ever 2.
And then you add the plus
The-
of your stat.
Then
to
he
the
had-
value of the roll. Yes.
Yeah, to the value. Someday I will internalize this. Today is unfortunately not that day.
So if you
I have a
Well,
lot of mechanics rambling around
That's
in my
okay.
head.
So as a help out, what you're doing is you're gonna roll the dice, add your weird value to that die roll,
Yep.
and then if you succeed, it's gonna add, I think, like a +1, or if you super succeed, it's gonna add like a +2 to Pearl's roll.
Okay. I have with my weird. Yeah, that's gonna help.
Yeah.
I have a 9.
Okay, that's a success. So you add Pearl, you'll take a +1 forward. Is the term in this game, but like you'll take a +1 on your roll
Cool.
in
And I
addition
had
to
a-
everything you have.
I had an 8, so
There you go.
+1.
yeah.
I mean, an 8 is enough to do what you want with a complication, I believe.
It doesn't actually even say anything for big magic.
No, then as long as it's over,
It just says
It's
use
7
this when
above.
you want more than the use magic effects. Which I mean, I guess if it would go off of use magic effects, but it doesn't. I'm just saying it
Yeah,
does
big
not.
magic is its own thing.
Yeah, I mean, I can come up with a complication for that makes narrative sense. It's not going to be.
I can
like,
come up with a complication. Can I get one last attack before I'm sucked into the mirror?
Whoa.
I'm down with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah! Yes. That is a 12.
Okay.
I'm doing another 4 harm to you.
4. Okay. All right. Check. It's reduced and still standing, barely.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So
I'm in the
The negative zone.
I'm in the
The phantom zone.
The
the
super
Phantom
That's-
Zone. Thank you. Phantom Zone. I'm like, fuck, what was it called? All those mime classes are gonna come in handy now.
Bryn will just, or Pearl will just, they drop their hands and just like, she seems kind of very tired after this, but she like gives Bryn like a firm like hold on her hand. It's just, I knew you had it in you.
Bryn looks down at the mirror and looks at Pearl and just, thank you, and just squeezes her hand and kind of like pulls away and runs over to Theo. Just like, are you okay?
Theo looks to you, blood out of the mouth, holes in his body, and he just goes, "I'm good."
No, you're standing, but you're not good. And I think like, it's just like, and we need to get that
It's not the.
everything.
I've been here before. I promise.
Oh, I don't like that either.
Pearl will hobble over to the mirror, pick it up, close it. It's like a little, like compact that closes. It closes it, puts it in her bag, and then tosses over to like a little flask to Bryn, and just give him this. It's the same thing that she gave to Cyrena before. It's the homeopathy. You've always got some apple cider. Vinegar and supplements on hand. When you do first aid, roll weird.
Okay. Yeah, it's probably better than my thermos of tea that has no curative properties here. Just hands it over.
Yeah, he-
Gives it a sniff. Because probably tastes better though, and I'll drink it.
Did I roll for this last time, or is the person that drinks it, do they roll?
I think you did. It's your magic.
yeah,
Okay, I
it's
just
your
couldn't
weird.
remember. It's mine. Weird.
It's not a
You
nice
don't want-
thing to
you-
say to someone.
Well, you don't want me rolling my weird.
Yes, a 10. And so the patient is stabilized and healed of 2 harm.
Okay,
Okay.
good. Well,
I'm on the health meter. I'm still at the point where it should be marked unstable. But if it stabilizes me as well, then I'll just take that off.
Yeah, it does stabilize you.
Let's
All right. So like one of the holes closes up in the process. And just go ooh.
Okay. Well, we found Fran. Let's go home. Back.
For better.
Let's go back.
For better or worse, we found Fran.
For some reason, I do not think this is exactly Fran. But
It
I
wasn't the
sure as
Fran
shit
I
hope
knew.
not, because you all heard that, right? It's not just me.
I sure did.
Yeah.
All right.
That better
I'll
not be Fran in
process
there.
that. I'll process that later. Let's go home. Do you want me to drive?
I'm good. I got it. You don't
I
worry about
don't.
it.
I think you should drive, baby. You please rest. Sophie.
I know. I'll take good care of your car. I promise.
I don't distrust that. Sure. All right. Here, I'll just hand the keys over.
Smiles and takes it. It's just like the thermos is in the passenger side if you want tea.
Thank you.
It sucks.
that-
Today sucks. And just kind of like starts heading down the hill.
So yeah, look at Pearl's bags. Go that really better not be fully Fran in there, because otherwise there's a lot of answers we're gonna need. We already need a fuck ton right now, but there's gonna be even more based off what I just heard.
That we do.
okay,
Well,
I like this shirt too.
and I think probably as you all are maybe, are you heading back to the shop? Was the idea maybe?
I think so. Yeah.
So as you're heading back to the shop, that's probably a good time to take our break.
Sure.
Woo.
So we'll go
Sounds
ahead,
good.
All right.
take our break, and we will be back in a couple of minutes.
I love you.
See you soon. And we're back.
Hello.
All right.
Hi.
So, you've driven the car back to the shop after the events of the woods, which probably have a name, but that's not important right now.
It's their name is the Woods.
The woods.
Just stop on
They
the
are
side of the
actually
road, it's fine.
they are actually the Brindle Woods.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, we know
Why was
that,
that funny?
we know that the key part of any community that's called woods is that there are no woods, especially
Yeah,
if
it's
it's
like
hipsters.
Yeah, like Oak Lane, Cherry Street. None of those things are there.
Yeah, if it's like Oak Leaf Gardens, there's not a single plant for 3 acres.
Yep.
So yeah, you pull up to the shop.
Yep. Yeah, Britain's very careful, like getting out of the car and like making sure the seat's back where it was supposed to be, the whole 9 yards. It's just like,
I'm so sorry. I will be right back. My roommate locked herself out of the house.
Oops.
No worries.
No worries.
I'll vamp.
Yeah, no worries. Like,
Pearl
yeah,
has
like
to rearrange her bag.
Yeah, Pearl's taking a minute.
you're doing all that. Theo just like gets out, looks at the blood splattered on the passenger seat, and just goes, and just like hits
What
the button
kind-
to raise the roof back up.
What kind of upholstery does your car have?
It's
Is it leather? That's wipeable.
it's-
You can get blood off of leather.
it is. It's that, but it's not like white pleather looking thing that like just sort of came with the car.
Oh no, so it's
Oh.
not leather. It's white pleather.
Yes,
You got
What
red
kind-
seats now, buddy.
Yeah.
but it's just one of those things. Yeah, I mean, and it's one of the things where, like he knows he could pay to like reupholster it if he needed to, but right now his main concern is I don't want someone looking at my car and being like, oh, there's blood, so just roof back up.
Always trying to keep up appearances. Always.
Yep.
Let it go,
Comes
man.
back from
Let it
rearranging
go.
her purse.
Yes.
Yeah, we
People-
were
people don't
fussing
like-
over the car.
There
People
is
don't
the-
like when stuff is blood splattered.
Yeah, there is the factor of not making your car look
Some
like a
people.
murder scene. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just me.
it looks like someone was crimed in that car.
You know, you don't want to get pulled over. You don't want to get pulled over and
Sorry.
have some like cop just be like, I can't help but notice the amount of probable cause in your car here. You know.
I feel like Theo could just be like,
Yes, we call that a bigger problem.
Yeah.
Bryn will be, I guess, the first to the door. I think they probably locked Cyrena in just because she's
Probably
convalescing.
safest.
Yep. I think that probably they'd probably actually helped Cyrena maybe up into the house part of this and like laid her down maybe either on like the living room sofa or like in Bryn's bed. Just kind of set her up with like a hot water bottle and some books. Just like, I
Yeah,
know what to do.
She's not like the first thing in case somebody does break into the antique shop. She's not the first thing somebody sees.
Oh, an injured person. Yeah. So she's, I think she's probably still resting up there when they arrive. But
Mm-hmm.
so Bryn will unlock the door to the shop and kind of slam the keys into her pocket and is like, okay, come on, let's
All right.
figure this out.
Yep.
And opens the door for everyone, closes it.
Asma's kind of wandering around. Like you can get whiffs of her. Like you can smell like that vetiver and the lang lang.
The shop.
In the shop. Yeah, she's in the shop. She's just sort of like you can hear her sort of talking to herself, walking through the shop, and speaking in like this weird angelic language, and somewhat materializing. Like you're just getting glimpses, and then finally, like she kind of notices you, and just sort of formally materializes, not blue, but wearing the makeup that she wears in order to not be blue, and is dressed a little more casually, doesn't have as much bling on or makeup, and is adjusting her tika, and it's really sad. I was like, hey,
You're back.
Fran, you're back.
She stabbed me. Makes me walk off to get coffee.
What did you do?
Got stabbed.
Obviously, but why did she stab you?
Ask her. And I point at Pearl first as I go get coffee.
I kind of like sighs goes, Fred's not herself.
What did you do to your girl?
We did well. I was gonna say we did nothing, but we did nothing harmful. We needed to stop her killing Theo.
And also Theo killing her, because if I remember correctly, we do need her. Also, she is a friend. But yeah, first and foremost, we do exactly. First and foremost, and also she is needed in stopping any of the things. However, she has admitted some things, and we would like to know first and foremost before we bring her out, or not out yet. But were you aware that Fran killed Zero?
Didn't say where. Looks like
Asma?
But it doesn't say anything along the way.
I sure did.
This is news to Fran. Somewhere deep in that back, Fran is going.
Yeah, I did. And you know, well, I mean, if you try to do what you're trying to do without having fresh flesh, it doesn't come out well. So you know,
The Zero? What was Zero trying to do?
I don't know. If you're prison somebody for so long, I mean,
Zero did not imprison anyone.
Did you I looked through coffee and because I'm annoyed at how much I need this point. I just might kind of go. Asma, did you know that actually happened? Or do you just really want to be included right now? Because I'd like an actual answer.
No, I didn't know. I know things about Fran, but I don't know anything about Cheryl. I was not here. I was telling you on tour.
Great. Then we're all on the same boat. You were included in confusion as to what the fuck happened here.
Because that's what happened. She admitted to killing Zero, and so an elder ancestor of Prince and Zero's. Yes.
Real quick. The reason I'm pausing is these are important word drops. Chat is saying there's some sort of echoey, like digital thing going on, and they can't understand a lot of what we're saying right now. I'm not really sure how to resolve that, but I want to make sure that people can actually hear all of this good sexy little word drop.
I don't know.
Hey, chat, is that anybody in particular, or is it everybody?
Just asking the same thing.
All players are players.
That's a maybe.
Thank you, Virgil.
Didn't that happen before?
We all sounds like this. I don't know.
Should I try to just pause and come back? And come back?
We
You could do that.
could.
Should we do that?
Is audio built anywhere? Aside from that, I would know what it would be.
No. Audio looks good on my end.
I have also noticed a couple times during the stream I watched all of us go back and then back.
Oh,
up again.
I know
So
what
Yeah,
I know what that is.
Okay.
That's
Bristol
just
said that Ian is clear, but apparently the rest of us are not. So it's something to do with the feed in.
Oh, that did happen last time.
My Twitch just fixed it. Okay.
that's probably something between OBS and Twitch then.
Oh yeah, I've got a network error.
Oh, I'm fine.
Yeah, apparently Keeper is clear, everyone else is digitalized, which
Yeah.
I'm just repeating information we already had, but...
Yeah, so behind the scenes.
Everyone is good now.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, so we probably had some hiccup between OBS and
Yay.
Twitch.
Okay, we'll just keep it going from here.
And
then.
the reason it doesn't
Should we restart the scene?
I think we stopped at a pretty decent part of just like none of us know what the hell happened. None of us know why she admitted that. We all want to all want to figure it out. And
Great.
Yep,
we
sorry
just
for grinding
established.
us to a halt, but I wanted
Yes.
people
We
to
needed
actually be
to.
able to appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I mean
I'm gonna. I for clarity's sake, I'm gonna just gonna restate out of character what Fran had said is that she said to Theo, "I'm going to kill you the way I killed Cyril, the way I should have killed Elias, and the way he killed me a dozen times."
Mhm, mhm.
There you go.
So yeah, so Pearl says, that reiterates what Fran had told Theo. And they were about to kill each other. So she is, and pulls out the compact. So she is tucked away safely until we can figure out what quite is going on.
Muffled yelling from the compact.
Because this is not like the Fran I know. And I have known about her for quite some time.
For what it's worth, I didn't swing until she swung at me and then said she killed Cyril. I kind of missed the other part, so thank you for listening, Pearl.
I think Bryn can probably hear you guys, but I think she sat herself behind the counter with a cup of tea and is just kind of sitting there right now.
Why don't we bring her to my ood?
I don't want to take her out unless she can communicate perfectly fine with us.
I mean, you
Can we
bring
talk
her-
back and forth?
Can you bring her in the compact? Y'all can come too.
Open the compact, please.
Let's go on the
Now
Ood.
you
Ren,
say
are you-
please.
Are you okay to come? Do you need a moment more?
I'm fine. Just... Yep, let's go.
You sure?
Are y'all hearing that?
What?
Do y'all hear the music? Oh my word.
No.
Sorry.
Is this out of
Okay.
character?
Is that a character?
That was in...
Okay.
That was out of character. No, that's totally out of character. That was me.
Okay.
Sorry.
Did your Spotify start up, Julia?
Yes.
Listen, I paused my Spotify in case something weird would happen. Like, oh,
What's
was it
happening?
It's the theme music for the Ood.
Oh no,
Oh, shit.
it was the stream. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Ah.
If people are saying anything in Twitch, I am not able to get it right now.
Hey, you're good. But yeah, no, I'd just say to Bryn, like, you
I
sure?
think
Because
we
you don't
should,
have to go in there.
We can all go into the Ood.
Does
Wait.
that change anything, or is that just for your comfort's sake?
I was thinking for safety, since y'all are so afraid of her, my Ood is more contained. It's a familiar and safe place, and I have access to the things that I may need should I need to help Fran. I mean, I'll help y'all too.
I mean, I will say it is another level, so that if she's still the way she was out there, it's not running right out into the street. So, got that going for us.
All right, take us in.
I'm down for it. Bryn, if you don't want to go in, I can stay out here as well, unless you just need the time alone.
No,
Otherwise, I
it's,
think we all head in.
No, it's I should I should. Yeah, I should. Yeah, no, that's
Alright.
fine. Thanks.
All right, well, come on then.
All right. So I'm like, all right, y'all need to get close.
Mhm.
All right, you're just gonna and see when I do it, I want you to notice, Theo. Even though it's my house, I'm very gentle with the strings because it is a musical instrument that is thousands of years old. Okay, maybe not old, but anyway, here we go. So she like very gently plucks the string.
Oh no.
Everybody kind of fades into the oud. It's a very sort of soothing, relaxing. It's not jarring the way it was when somebody maybe struck it like it was a guitar.
Guitar.
Anywho, so here we
It's all
are.
got strings, right?
Hmm?
It's all got
But-
strings,
Oh
right?
Lord.
This is like when Cyrena said she didn't read.
Yep.
Yeah, it really is.
Yep.
So when they are singing,
Lord.
I wish Megan was watching.
From the compact, you hear, "This is why he's single."
Because
No,
he doesn't
is
know instruments.
no, he is single because he does not pick up on the fact that two people are hitting on him.
One.
Or maybe he doesn't want to not be single. Let's take care of the matter at hand, y'all. And
Is
then
there a
Maybe
reason
he wants to
why
figure
we're
out why his friend
talking-
is dead, and yeah.
talking about this
We'll get to that.
in second person in front of Theo right now, guys? Is that can we go and speak to my friend who's also a murderer?
Uh-oh.
Thank you.
Oh boy.
Prioritization of events. Yeah. First friend murderer, then end of the world. Then we can talk about my dating life if y'all are super interested in it. But, a line of events.
I am. Okay. So
Great. We'll get to that at the end.
So we are
Priorities.
safely in the oud, and Pearl will open the compact. Fran does not come out of it, but you can see her reflection, and you can communicate with her.
Aren't you gonna let her out?
No,
This is my house. She can be in my house.
I don't think she is exactly herself right now, and so until we have exact answers,
Okay.
Vaguely concerned she'll just try to attack Theo again. She said something along the lines of, "You've been in this town too long," and then drew her sword on him. So,
Fran, can you hear me?
Ione, I can hear you.
What's going on?
I need to kill Theodore
Why?
because he needs to die.
We're talking in circles here.
But why? And she says it in that way that Fran says it.
You see, Fran, when Asama's voice hits that higher tone, she just kind of stops and says, I don't know.
Mhm.
Somebody telling you to do something?
It something I don't. Ian, how much do I know about what's going on with me?
So,
Because I don't know if I really understand what's. I don't know. Like I don't
You
know
don't know
why,
what
man.
you don't
I
know.
just
yeah.
I don't
so,
know what I don't know. All I know is that Theo Hart needs to fucking die.
so
He's
there's
been around for too long.
so you're feeling kind of a complicated set of emotions right now that originate, let's say they originate in your right forearm.
This one or this one? This one?
Which one do you want it to be?
Well, if that's, I mean, if we're actually going with this one, looks much more interesting.
Okay.
Just anyway,
Yeah, then it's
sure.
here's your left forearm, I guess.
Yeah.
Your left forearm, and these emotions seem to be to do with there's a certain sense of duty that Theo has to be stopped for something fateful to happen, but also that he's getting in the way of your chosen role. But that's weird because what chosen role? Like what does that even
Yeah.
mean? Like what is it you're jealous of?
I'm literally green with envy. She's staring at her hand and she says, I think I want what he has, but he also needs to be stopped because he's in my way.
And what does he have?
Well, what does he have?
You are asking the wrong person. I stopped having feelings 130 years ago.
I'm gonna be honest. If putting I'm putting things together because like over the last what's it been an hour or two, I don't think it much matters what it is that I have. What are the what are the deadly sins that we're missing right now?
For those of you keeping score at home, pride and envy.
Right. Yeah.
It was a rhetorical question from Theo. Yeah. So what are the sins that we're missing right now?
Pride and envy.
And we know that she's part of that.
The collection.
And moreover, we know that these artifacts can be weaponized.
Francine, I think someone's using you.
Did you just say I belong on the shelf?
No.
No.
Yes.
You
What
are
we
putting words in our mouth.
Oh, stop
What we
lying.
said
Yes,
is that you're part of that.
That is what Frager said. You
It's
are
not-
one
Frager
of.
said that. Frager said that. We don't think that.
So we're just going to decide not to believe it. Suddenly we're just not believing the things that we've been
Oh
believing.
no, I
this whole
believe
time?
it. I believe it. I just don't want it to affect Francine.
There is also a difference between the wording of you belong on a shelf and you are a part of this collection that brings about the end of the world.
And honestly, I ain't never met Francine until this time around I came back. I've been eyeballing that shelf for quite some time right now, and she weren't ever on it. So if everything was all hunky-dory up until recently, and she weren't on the shelf, that ain't figuring into it.
Exactly.
Cyril never put me on the shelf. I was always just a part of the permanent collection.
Right. So
I
you're not a part of the problem. I mean, you ain't ever like you didn't stay in the building the whole damn time, right? You gone other places.
I've I I wasn't supposed to there. You can see like there's like electricity, glitching out of her temples as she's trying to overthink it. I haven't left town since the 70s. I don't remember really much before then. It was a cave, and then before that I died.
You haven't left town, but you have left this building. Meanwhile, all the things on the shelf had not left this building until recently when everything started going down the toilet. I don't think you factor into that. There's something else going on here we got to sort out. but I don't think that Frager's onto it with going on a shelf.
Francine, I think there's some context you might be missing.
I also was attempting to use a metaphor and it went badly. I didn't mean literally on the shelf, but yes, please give me context. I'm sins.
Each of these artifacts we've been retrieving essentially represents a sin. And they were created to do these things. And according to Frager, you were also created and you're a part of this. But you're also you. So if we can stop someone from, or some external force from having control over you, I want my friend back.
And frankly, I am much more inclined to believe that someone out there is using these tools to manipulate you than I am inclined to believe that you just are this. Makes a hell of a lot more sense to me.
Always been angry and lost and lonely, and I will be honest. If this is what envy feels like, I have been envious of the brief candles of humanity. I miss feeling my body die around me, but to what has been happening to me since I ran off is new.
Did you encounter anybody when you ran off?
No.
What exactly happened when you ran off? What was the last thing that happened before you took off?
Theo was slowing me down. I needed to heal, and I can't have you know where I go to not stop being.
Slowing you down, I was literally taking you back to the car to get back here.
You are slower than I am, and
Well, that part's true.
I don't have to follow roads, and I was not coming back here.
All factors that I was not aware of, and all of them are entirely true. I'll give you that bit.
I was going back to the Faraday cage where Cyril found me. It's under the electrical relay station on the far end of town, opposite the mountain. I have it wired up under there, and it flipped it on. The power, I think I have it wired right so that the power shouldn't go out when I turn it on. The Tesla coils.
Like a recharge cage?
Effectively. My arm isn't working right.
Do you think somebody fucked with it while you weren't there?
I don't know. I thought it was very well hidden. It's been hidden since the 70s. I've only had to use it today.
Look,
You know,
maybe I'm a little tunnel vision on this one, but we just learned that the missing items are connected to pride and envy, so they're out there. We were in the process of going to look for, I think, envy, if I recall correctly. It was like a diary, but a diary we say shitty things about people. Burn book, kids call it. We know that these things can be used towards other people, and we know that there is at least one demon out there that doesn't want us fucking around with stuff. Again, maybe I'm tunnel visioned on this one, but I think it's a hell of a lot more reasonable that somebody used that book on the only one of us that was not with anybody else, aka the most vulnerable of the moment, no offense, to throw a wrench in things. That makes a hell.
True.
If I were gonna write it, that's how I'd write it.
Because she's not envy, is she? She's pride because it takes a certain amount of pride to think you're to create someone like Francine.
It would be the embodiment thereof, yes.
You're not the sin, Francine.
No. I am aware.
So
Elias lived a
maybe it
long,
was Cyril.
full life. No, no, Dr. Elias Shipton made me. He killed me 12 times. Took all of my bodies into a cave that has since collapsed. Yes, I went to look for it. It is gone now. And assembled me. And I wasn't supposed to remember my life from before, and I don't really, but then he flipped the switch and everything fired up again, and I saw these burning eyes and these massive wings and these horns that don't make sense, and skin is not blue, and the feet aren't right, and then a year of trying to understand what being alive is. And then I was put in a Faraday cage to slowly try and get out and drain my own battery, and until I was found again. I don't remember where I'm going with this information.
Sorry
Dr.
that happened to
Shipton.
you. I'm sorry
Dr.
it's my
Shipton
family
looked.
that did it.
I'm sorry that Cyril looked so much like him. I wasn't supposed to remember my death.
I wanted to ask you. You weren't controlled by any external thing when you killed him, were you?
I wasn't.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
But you weren't exactly in control, were you?
I did not have the presence of mind to realize that it was Cyril and not Elias. They looked so similar. And when you know you have the strength to do something about it, what would you do when faced with someone who had wronged you so terribly? I'm sorry that I was 130 years too late.
I understand why you did what you did. But now I'm faced with someone who's wronged me terribly, and I'm not gonna kill them.
Someone hug her, please.
Pearl makes to maybe not hug immediately, but just puts her hands on her shoulders and like looks at her and just, you okay, Shiv?
It's not her fault.
Can we take her out of the compact, please?
Are you gonna try and kill Theo if we take you out of the compact?
Did you get all your swings out?
I will stay between Asima And Theodore.
Well,
Now
you think
hold
that's
on.
enough of a buffer?
Pearl turns to Asma. When Fran was describing that being with horns and wings and not quite blue skin, you're doing what you're doing now.
What?
Look at me,
Okay.
not elsewhere.
I'm
We have
looking-
been friends for a long time, Asma.
Mm.
Do you know
Yeah.
whoever that was, or was that you?
Well, unless there is another being with wings and not. That was probably me.
I don't know. Who are you talking to when you talk to the air?
Well, if you can't talk to yourself, who do you talk to?
Something's responding. Is it another one of you, or is it something similar?
Another one of me?
That gives you your magic. The one
Isn't there
that caused all
another
that trouble.
Oh, you said it.
Well, I have a feeling I know who it is. So while y'all are out beating the shit out of my girlfriend, I was just
No.
doing some thinking. No?
That's not what happened.
Okay.
And you don't need
A
to act
little.
like that.
It was retaliatory, but
I did start it. Theo was defending himself.
Okay.
up until the part where she said she killed Cyril, then it got a little personal. But yeah,
Mm-hmm. It was in there. It was there. I hear you. So, you know, I've been talking to the Almighty and asking for favors and things, and apparently I may have dialed the wrong number.
Mm-hmm.
we kind of the whole rivers running red and eclipsing in the sky kind of clued us in a bit.
Who were you calling? The Ghostbusters?
Guy, I wish.
It's a friend I know.
Iblis, apparently.
But what?
Iblis. Apparently.
Iblis.
You know, the Shaitan?
The Shaitan, Lucifer,
Lucifer, that was that name.
Morning
I
Star,
couldn't really
Iblis.
remember it. Yeah. I kept forgetting. Yeah. Apparently.
The light.
So just to clarify, you were talking to something else that, according to a lot of different mediums, has horns and wings and weird-looking feet and wrong skin and everything that was just described.
They never get the feet right.
It's really hard to get
Right.
the feet right.
So then is Lucifer the one?
It's more.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you just call Fran your girlfriend?
I
Oh, yeah,
noticed
we
that.
didn't talk about those things until after we solved this. Oh, or is it just
So yeah,
Thea?
no. That's why I wasn't bringing it up. That's one of those like tertiary things. We get to that later.
It only just processed now. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I needed a break. Let's get back to it.
Mhm.
So yeah. So I'm not entirely sure how this might have happened. I have not seen him, whatever he's calling himself these days. I've not seen him in many, 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 many a year. And I thought we were cool. I really thought we were cool. But apparently
Yes.
not.
Well, when it is a creature bent on the destruction of the world, I think being cool with them does not yield the response you think it will.
Well, I mean, consider this. Clearly, I am not human, right?
Mm.
And it's not that we have our own laws or anything. That I mean, we kind of do, but there's some difference. I'm not an angel. I'm not good, but I'm not a demon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we're gonna look at this in a cryptozoological way, if we're really gonna get into the systematics of it, Jinn are closer to like the Fae in Europe,
Mhm.
fairies. But anyway, all that to say, early in my career, when angels and such were falling out of the sky because who I thought was the Almighty was getting mad, I came across Iblis. He was injured. I helped him because that's my job. And yeah, I asked him for some favors. He came back. He was supposed to get me some seeds for the Garden of Eden. I know y'all don't care about gardening, but it's a thing with me. And he came back, but he didn't deliver the way I'd expected. So the way the devil does, I know y'all call him the devil too. He presented me with a bauble. And it's beautiful. You see what it does, and let's be honest, that is my jam.
So he has a history of making a deal that isn't what it appears to be.
Probably. I mean, he was like, "Oh, I'm so in love with you. Will you go out with me? Can we get together?" And I was like, "I'm kind of gay." I was just like, "Well, no." And he tried and tried and tried. And then he gave me this, and I was still not impressed. But I am not a cheap date. And he showed me what this can do, and I was quite impressed. And so I decided that I would forgive him. I mean, he didn't do anything wrong to me. And he went about his merry way, and he went back to hell as far as I knew. And I was in my garden, and then more angels fell, and I just went back to work.
So what you're saying is not only did he trick you into bringing about the end of the world, but he has also, if I'm putting the puzzle pieces together correctly, could have been the one who was talking to Fran,
Talking to me?
or well, you said you saw that being.
I saw it without seeing. Elias talked about the voice from the cemetery and always used feminine pronouns for the voice.
That was
The
me.
devil has many appearances.
Could be either way, unless Asuma, you took up residency in a cemetery.
Picked out my
I'm a
eyes.
djinn. I
They
hang
live
out in cemeteries.
It was Asuma.
It was
It was
Thank you for
Asuma.
the clear answer.
See, I'm trying to give benefit of the doubt here, and I just I keep getting thrown back.
Would you rather it be Satan?
Kind of, a little bit.
Asuma is a friend, and now not only have we learned that a friend has killed another friend, but now I have learned that my other friend who helped kill my other friend is just complicit in the end of the world and not giving a shit about it. So yeah,
I
it
do
matters.
care. Wait, no. I totally care. I don't want the world to end. This was not my plan. If you recall, every time I have talked to the Almighty to fix things that I made a mistake about, it was to make sure that we all came out okay.
Yes,
I wasn't doing it.
It led to the end of the world.
No, that's correct. Did you immediately do it after you were asked not to because you knew exactly what was going to happen if you did it?
No.
That's not what happened an hour and a half ago?
And no, that is not why I did it.
Asuma, to be clear, I never knew the guy, so I guess I'm at peace with my great-great-great-great-grandfather being a serial killer. But did you tell him to do that?
Well, of course not.
No.
But
I read his notebook.
All I suggested was that use these eyes of lapis. Okay? I may have suggested make her tall. But
So you just had
he
creative
got
I didn't
the
say-
idea to do this on his own, and you just guided the aesthetic.
pretty much. I mean, it's not an uncommon spell to go and harvest bodies, and it's necromancy. It's like a fully established practice. And
I read Elias's notebook. I read his notes. Cyril had them, which is what kicked off all of the terrible. His notes begin months before his first mention of the voice in the cemetery. Months.
You both realize that just kind of softens the blow,
No,
right? It's just
none of this excuses. None of this excuses.
we are in a lot
Fran
right now.
looks at Asuma and just says, what a mess we're in.
Mm.
Can I come out of the compact now? I will let you hit me as many times as you want.
No, I got that out of my system. That's up to Bryn at this point, as far as I'm concerned.
Pearl, how strong are you feeling?
I think my anger alone could help me pyro this.
Okay. You can come out, but if you go for any of us, you're going back in. I think that's fair.
I do want to remind y'all you're in my house.
Yes.
Yes.
Great.
And
Tell her
that
also to
correct?
behave.
Hmm?
I'm
Tell
happy
her
to
to
be out of your house any second.
No,
You
no,
wanna
no, no,
hold
no.
anything-
What I mean is I'm not going to let anything happen to you in my house. I'm also not
Thank
going to
you
let
for the
anything
clar-
happen to Fran in my house.
Why does
Thank you for the
like
clarification.
I'm not trying to blame you here, but why does a lot of what you say sound like a threat until you clarify? I could really use a little clarification sometimes because
Can we get her a cup of tea with milk
I have
and
my whole
sugar,
thermos.
please?
It's not helping.
I had to lower my volume because I needed to address something, and so I didn't hear anything except for I have tea and sugar. in the thermos."
We're just
I have tea
arguing.
and it's not helping. We're just arguing, and I'm like, hey, Bryn, can you drink some fucking tea, please?
She's like, I've been shotgunning tea for the last half hour.
Maybe you
Literally
can have
has.
some water.
Pearl tosses the compact on the ground and holds out her hand to Bryn.
She grabs her hand.
And does the same thing as before in a similar fashion. The tapping, and then, but this time, since there is no fighting, looks at Asuma. And I don't know if you saw that part. At the last big tap, which is what sucked her in, there needed to be like a timing moment, and it was when their weapons had clashed.
Mm-hmm.
So Pearl will look to you to give a moment of whether it's like magic or a heartfelt thing.
Eye
Asuma's
contact.
like, I'm not going to let anything happen to anybody here, okay? I'm not going to let you hurt Fran, and I'm not going to let Fran hurt you. And y'all can believe me or not, but this is my house. And if you don't believe it, I can pluck a string and let y'all back out.
So a final tap, and then Fran is released.
Fran tenses like she's gonna wind up, and then just like sits down hard on the ground. Like,
Can I get you something to eat or drink?
I do not. Okay, we're in the weeds a lot. We need to
Uh-huh.
figure out why this is. Well, I don't know why this is happening. I don't know if I care about why this is happening to me. A lot of feelings have been hurt, and that is understandable. Yes.
Sorry.
Okay.
Personally, I think we could RP day and night.
Yes.
Keeper, do you have anything that could drive the plot forward?
I was just about to do investigate a mystery actually.
Yeah.
Okay,
on
so
myself.
investigate
To see
that
if
mystery.
I could like point me in a direction.
Yeah, I would say that the next thing you probably would want to do is try to figure out what's going on. Like why
Yep.
is
Yes.
Francine acting like this?
Like,
And it's funny because right when she said like I don't know if I care about it, like I was gearing up to say I kind of do.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Investigate that mystery.
Yes, I'm investigating because I am not talking to someone I cannot use, but why, unfortunately. So I am just rolling my sharp. Hey, that's a 7. Let me pull up my questions. I don't know why I didn't have these ready.
Oh.
Hell.
Keeper, I keep forgetting to make the roll I'm supposed to make at the start of the game, so I'm gonna hold it until after this is processed.
Okay.
Playbooks. Keeper sheet. Hunter sheet. Okay. Investigate a mystery. On a 7 to 9, hold 1. One hold can be spent to ask this keeper one of the following questions. What happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What is it going to do? What is being concealed here? How about, what can hurt? What is being done to me? What can hurt it in that respect? Because I know that when, unless you get a 12, you have to go off of that list. So I'm trying to figure out like what can sever it, or like, or either that, or where did it go, as in like where can I find this thing that is doing this to me?
So
I'm just like,
So I don't want to imply that you have to like chop limbs off. So don't take this as this, but you do believe that this is related somehow to that part of you that is giving you that weird emotional impetus, that is somehow connected to something else. And if you could figure out, yeah, okay, this works. If you could figure out how that part of you is connected to that something else, that would probably be the key to severing that connection.
oh, she's like looking at this, and she's like fiddling with the tie on the bandage on her arm. She goes, wait, hold on. She's taking off, and it's probably about like, it's a comically large amount of bandage on her arm. It is a large arm. She goes, wait, Asuma. You picked out my eyes specifically, but the notes say you helped piece me together.
Yeah.
Who was my left arm?
And this is where I'd like to make my roll, which is one to specifically see what's revealed about my immediate future.
We need to go to the cemetery.
That is an 11. So the keeper will reveal a useful detail about this upcoming mystery.
Yeah.
Good news.
Oh, what detail do I reveal about the upcoming mystery? Oh, it's so difficult, this game sometimes.
Yeah. For something so simple and easy and fun, it's really hard.
I'm actually glad that Thyrena is not here tonight, because it would also be hard because it.
Yeah. Plot bus. Beep beep.
So in your immediate future, okay. you see explain that to me again one more time just so I can remember how to word this.
It's called Destiny's Plaything. At the beginning of each mystery, roll plus weird to see what is revealed about your immediate future. On a 10 plus, the keeper will reveal a useful detail about the coming mystery.
Okay, perfect. You have a sneaking suspicion that hooded figures are going to try to kidnap you.
Fun.
Great.
So yeah, you start talking about cemeteries and finding missing pieces, and just not going to share this with the group yet. But Theo just suddenly gets this like mental image of like death cults and whatnot in his head and bodies. He just goes.
You okay?
Anytime we ask a question with such magnitude like that, it never ends well.
Well, I don't know if I can tell you anything about whose arm that used to be. It is your arm. However, if you are concerned about this arm, perhaps we could re-infuse it with some other kind of life flow that would negate the current clearly, I don't know how to say this, in a way that doesn't equate human diseases with what you might be experiencing. But I don't think we'd have to remove the arm, but maybe we could replace it. I may have one in compost.
Burn book as in witches.
I mean,
She
Burn
looks at
book is-
She looks at Pearl. Burn book as in witches.
Well, I don't got a burn.
It's an anti. It's an anti. No, because you should have it, because you're a witch. And that's the problem. You should have it. You don't. It's not a term used anymore because it's antiquated.
I mean, I have a grimoire.
Yes.
But
you're not the type of witch to have a burn book because that's not what you do. But
Okay.
Did witches used to have books for people they hated or envied?
yes.
So we do have a couple things going on here. Okay, so Esma, I think, is implying a way to replace your arm, which I think would be beneficial.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Or that could work as something to try. But then also you're also running down a way to possibly track down the original arm.
Or who it went to, yeah.
Yeah, or where it came from.
I'll be honest. This is my arm. I want to keep my arm. I don't want to replace it with a different arm. This is mine. If we go to the cemetery, because all of Elias's victims were buried, we might find a name. It's an old cemetery.
Pearl also could just look through, I mean, not just, but could look through old family records and stuff.
I don't suppose the good doctor would have kept a name list.
I don't remember if he kept a name list, but I know that before I kind of tore up the notes that he did not say what went where. It hurt my feelings. He called me a proof of concept.
You do.
No, that's fair.
Rude.
You do know the cemetery that he got a lot of the remains from.
Yes. I was buried
That
there
was from
12 times.
Yeah, that was probably in the notes.
Yeah,
So
well, yes, but I also remember that from when I was alive, and because I've lived here for a long time.
So yeah,
I probably hung out there. Sure, I did.
You
hang out
did
there.
hang out there specifically, and you told him which bodies to bring up when.
Yeah, I did.
So, but there's
All
also,
right.
you have a number of ways of tracking things too. So,
Asuma,
Yeah.
can you let me out? I'm just gonna start getting things ready so we can go.
All right.
Yeah.
So she kind of like she looks at the red right hand and she goes, oh God. She just starts. She takes off the rings, and then she's like gets stuck in it, and she's like just snaps her fingers like get out, and you disappear, and you're in the
All right.
outside the ood.
And Bryn, it takes a minute to refill the thermos, center herself, and gather a few things for and out of character. I will be right back.
Yeah, go brew, girl. Maybe something other than English breakfast.
Mm.
um,
So we have a cemetery, but no direct lead on who in the
yeah,
cemetery.
I think I got some old heirlooms in my attic from my family. I mean,
I'll be like a dowsing rod.
There's that.
I can see if I can pull some names, though. I mean, my family has been here in Brindlewood for quite some time, though. I don't know. As far as I know, there are not many witches in my family.
There's enough.
There only needs to be at least one.
Mm-hmm.
But you learned all this stuff from somewhere.
And learned it early. It's almost like an acquired kind of taste. I mean, I
Just
do
sorta
remember.
came to me.
Yeah. I remember one day you were just looked up, and it's the strangest thing. I've never had a human actually see me before I saw them.
Hmm.
I was always very impressed by that.
Saw you clear as day.
I know, it was very strange.
All right. Well, we got a handful of ideas, so I think probably we should pop out of here. Pearl, you can do your looking into. Rest of us can get our shit sorted, and then we can check on the one upstairs before we head on out, if we gotta.
I can help heal you too, Theo.
I'm all right. I appreciate it though.
Too bad.
All right, well.
You good there, friend? Mm-hmm.
I don't have my sword.
Where'd the
It's
sword go?
somewhere. It turns up.
All right, but
I
are
believe-
you
But
good?
No, but I don't want I don't want to attack you as much as I do want to. I just want to beat your ass. I don't want to kill you, if that makes sense.
It's
You're
levels. I
still
got
in
you.
my way.
Still not sure how yet, but we'll sort that bit with the rest of it.
My arm hurts.
Well, we'll fix
Hurt
that
isn't
bit
the right
too.
word.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. Sorry I went as hard on you as I did.
No,
okay.
don't be.
So what do we want to do?
Okay. Leave the ood.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Probably wrap up game for tonight.
I mean, I'd like to go to the cemetery real quick. I mean, unless we want to go, unless we're wanting to wrap up. Because we started a little late.
Oh, true.
I'm good. I'm good whichever way. If going to the cemetery is going to be a larger plot forward thing, we can wrap. Otherwise,
It could give
Either
us
way.
a cliffhanger.
The
ending.
cemetery, I guess spoilers, the cemetery would be a pretty good cliffhanger.
okay, we can do that then.
Fuck, what else was I gonna say? Shit, there was something. It was gonna be Clem. Oh, I remember. If there was gonna be more than one opinion, I was gonna say, well, I'm with you, fellers, because I just am Del Mar sometimes.
Asuma, before they all leave, Asuma goes to Pearl and says, "Would you mind putting something in your compact for me? For us, for everybody."
Whoa.
She holds up
What
the
is
red
it?
right hand.
Oh. I mean, are you sure you don't want? Well, no, the pocket dimension didn't quite work out before. The compact is probably the better place. Though when things
It's
are
very
in it,
lonely in there.
when things are in it, I cannot use it to scry.
Oh. Okay. Well, I don't want to leave it in my ood. However, it was a gift from the what do you call him? Lucifer.
The shaitan. We when you say the shaitan, we know,
Okay.
because there are the plural of shaitan.
Uh,
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
I will do my best. It is not a living thing, so I think it might
Shayateen.
be easier.
Shayateen. I was so close. I was trying to put an M on it. The shayateen, and then the shaitan.
Yeah.
Pearl holds
Big
out the
S.
compact, and maneuvers Asuma's hand holding the thing like above it, and keeps her hand on Asuma's, and just if you feel a little pinch, don't worry about it, and and then actually, so she actually removes her hand because she has to tap her thing. Still, if you feel a little pinch, don't worry about it. And
you're not putting me in there.
I just want you in there. I'm putting that in here, and we'll start tapping and chanting the spell, and it goes. If he wants me to roll, I can roll.
Dramatically, I don't think you would, unless you just want to farm XP.
No.
What can go wrong?
I did level up already
so
from
tempting
my fail
sometimes.
before.
Yeah, I mean,
You're
but
like,
farming
"Can
XP
I-"
would be like, and then like you put
Hey, I'd
Asima
like to
into the
make
compact and replace it with like Mirror Universe Asima. Like,
Can I make
Oh,
a
you don't want
cool
Mirror
roll,
Universe
please?
Asima.
I'd like to go ahead and make a cool roll as often as possible for no reason.
Yeah. Dude, listen, Fran would be the most scared horny if it was Mirror Universe Asima. Like, oh no, she's hot and unrepentantly evil.
Oh no, there's two of them.
Oh no, there's two of them.
And there's two of them.
Oh my god, and what if there was
Oh,
only
no.
one bed?
Okay, to the cemetery.
to the cemetery.
Anyway.
Yeah. So
cemetery.
while that's going on and like while we're getting ready, I really quick I want to go over to Bryn, who's probably just stress brewing tea, and just lean over on the counter and just go, "Are you holding up?"
Had a little cry. Feel a little better now?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want a coffee?
If you've already made it, sure. If not, I'll get it
Oh,
later.
I have instant. Pulls out like probably a little smaller thermos and dumps the hot water in from the kettle and just dumps some instant coffee and stirs it.
I put more in while you're stirring it. No.
I've been so a little while ago I was gonna ask how you were doing because my uncle was your friend too, but I think maybe we're both just not doing okay, and that's fine.
It unfortunately makes sense, what we learned. It's not great, but it makes sense.
I prefer it this way. A lot of the people that there are to be mad at are dead. Like my great grandfather, who is apparently a serial killer.
Too many. So much more recent than you want.
Great grandfather.
And well,
Great great
I'll be
grandfather.
honest.
He doesn't
I'll be
know.
honest. It makes me feel a little bit better that Cyril didn't get killed as part of some wild plot to steal all the things and bring about the apocalypse. I'd almost rather have an emotional breakdown be part of it.
I can't believe the apocalypse was an accident. How often does that happen?
All the
At
time.
least twice.
At least twice.
Every 2,000
This.
years at a minimum.
She slides the thermos over a little to you. And just,
Nice.
A couple of them I wasn't paying attention to. So.
you I'm not treating you as like the resident expert on any of this, but you're a lot more. You've done a lot more. So technically kind of you're like sort of an expert on it.
Unwilling expert.
How do you keep doing it?
Who's going to do it if I don't?
Oh, I hate that. Fine.
It's not a bad thing.
Just picks up the thermos. It's like,
It's not a bad thing. I've been given something to do. I can either do it, or I can run away from it and hope somebody out there is going to do it. But there's only one way I can guarantee the shit gets done, and it's if I do it.
yeah. That makes an uncomfortable amount of sense.
Plus, it really hasn't hurt the writing career.
I don't think I can market the antique shop in the same way, but who knows?
Eh.
Come on, let's let's come back to this maybe when everything's settled.
Good plan.
But thanks for checking on me.
Who else? Who else, right? Everybody's got all the stuff going on.
Yeah, everyone does.
But let's go find the rest of Fran's arm before we find some really sassy book that might be the key to stopping the apocalypse.
Oh, that figures. You know, supposedly way back in my line, there was a really, really prophetic seer. I don't think I got any of that, but at least we've got Pearl and Cyrena.
Maybe you just ain't opened your eyes enough yet.
I
No,
kept
you
them
got
closed
the
on
other
purpose.
You got the other gift.
Or you got other gifts.
What other gift? The serial murder? What other
Oh,
gift, Asuma?
No.
Oh,
But I gotta
I
say,
haven't
it sounds a lot different
manifested
when
that
Theo
one yet.
says it.
It's only a matter of time.
Y'all realize, like, she did just, like, open the book and was like, I'm gonna read this strange script. And poof, out popped a djinn. And she couldn't read that until she just opened her eyes. She got the other gift.
She's got that third eye just gorilla glued shut.
Oh, straight up. That's a reoccurring. I don't think I need to.
No, that's
I don't
in
need
character.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't need to hand feed
Yep.
this to the audience, but like that's a reoccurring theme with Bryn. She tried real fucking hard to ignore all of this. It didn't work.
She just goes, no, thank you, goodbye.
Anyone want a cup of tea? Hard pass. Like, but hey, we're getting there. So yeah.
Hey kids, you want to see a dead body?
Right? Oh Jesus. It's like, all right, cemetery. Oh, I need to get.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm really regretting not taking the other constructed move, which is detachable parts.
Problem solved.
Yeah, it's you may detach one or more of your body parts. They act as an ally subordinate motivation to follow my exact instructions. Each is able to move and sense in some way, or there's also awaken object where I can basically use some of my animating force to awaken an object. But it's like, man, if I could just, all right, thing, go find the rest of you, boy.
Okay. Well, with that,
'Kay.
that scary image in mind, let's get
can't
to
do
the
that.
cemetery.
We go
Yep.
to the cemetery.
Go to the
We
cemetery.
can quick drive that. We know where it is.
Yeah. And so
Bryn
there.
piles on like two separate, like a hoodie and a jacket, and it's just like, and walks to the cemetery with everyone.
there,
Oh, we're walking?
Are we walking? How far is the cemetery, Ian?
It's not a big
it's
town.
in Brindlewood, so you could walk to it.
It's closer to the center of Brindlewood than the edge of town is now.
Right.
It used to be on the outskirts.
And it is
However we make it there, we get there. It's not a big town.
We to the cemetery.
and it is
We
a,
transport to the cemetery, and we're there.
I hold Asuma's hand.
Oh, she like gives it a gentle squeeze and almost and pulls and totally pulls Fran closer and whispers, "I missed you. I was afraid that something had happened to you."
Fran just like rests her head on Asuma's shoulder as they walk.
Like leans down.
Yeah,
No,
kind
Asuna will
of.
float up a little bit higher. So
Yeah, clunk.
so
Pearl,
But she is gonna.
Pearl leans into whoever is closest to
One
her,
or both
like
of us.
yeah,
Mhm.
one or both of you, and under her breath, regardless if y'all can actually hear it or not, she does not care. It's just haven't felt anything for 100+ years, my ass.
Hey,
Bryn just goes,
she is
"Mm."
comprised of 12, 20, and 30 somethings, though. Okay, they have feelings.
Oh,
Fran
so it's
doesn't.
not you. It's not Fran that loves Asuma. Gotcha.
This
Just
is
the
the closest
12, 20-year-olds.
approximation.
Which part of your body loves Asuma?
Do you want an answer on
I don't know if I do.
stream?
No,
I don't know
we
if I
need to
do.
get. We need to.
I
We're
think
in the
you
cemetery
know.
now.
Hey, look, the cemetery. Gee, I think we start looking for Dalco and Sterling.
meanwhile the plot.
Why follow that when there's some inconsequential shit like car seats and whether or not we're walking to talk about?
Yeah, wait, who's dating whom? Have we gone back to that
This-
conversation yet?
No, the end of the world
have-
is the second bit, and then we go.
Yeah, the end of the world is the same.
I mean,
we gotta.
if y'all want, I'll just go ahead and sit back and you guys play Monster Hearts
No.
right now, and
Hey,
I'll just put
these two games.
I'll hit
We
F
kept it
here
under
on this,
lockdown.
and I'll press F, pay
We'll come-
respect to this
We'll come
game.
back to
Yeah,
that
I
Monster
Yeah.
Hearts.
Come back to
I'll be
Monster.
back.
We
Okay.
kept
Start
it
digging
all
up-
like chill for so long, Ian. So long.
Start digging up graves.
Do you?
No.
Yeah.
We're looking for what? Sterling and Dalco, right?
Well, so
The two witches that we know.
I was gonna set this up. Is so you're going to the
Set it up.
cemetery, and
Yes.
at this point it's getting quite dark, and so nightfall has come, and as that is when you notice that it is also a lunar eclipse.
That's
Unusual, yes.
physically impossible. But look at that. That's a full moon.
Everything
Okay.
is possible with Satan.
Wow.
So anyway, you go and you go up to the old cemetery, which is of course up on a hill. And you have to go all the way back to sort of the oldest part of the cemetery where there's, one of these old trees that never blooms and all the creepy, scary stereotypes. And I assume that Francine is probably, you said dowsing rod, and I kind of like that image of,
Yeah. I'm just trying to see where the feeling is more feeling, and looking for names I recognize.
and certainly there are a lot of feelings in the cemetery, but if you're concentrating on the arm, you do eventually
I'm running away from feelings that are happening in the head. I'm focusing only on this.
on the arm,
These are
and-
terrible. This is fine.
and probably with a little bit of the assistance of many of these magical people you have around you as well. you have Pearl, and you have Asima, and Bryn's abilities as well. Like
Theo's here too.
and Theo.
I have a cool sword.
Listen, I'm also trying to be away from that sword because that
When it
fucked
comes
me
when
up,
it
and I
comes time
am.
to fight the tree, Theo is ready.
Yep.
You go back to probably one of the oldest parts of the cemetery that is overgrown. Is not well taken care of and has been long forgotten. And that is when you get perhaps the strongest feeling. And you find where you stop, there is a headstone that is fallen over, an older style headstone that's just perhaps almost like one of these like markers that's simply almost like a brick. And as you brush off the grass and the dirt from this partially covered headstone, you see the name of Maribel Sterling.
Fran falls to her knees. She is actually sobbing. And she reaches out to touch the headstone.
Oh, Asuma's like, no, don't touch it.
And she just like pressing her forehead to it. She's broken. You can see as she's leaning over this huge woman how much damage Theo actually did, which is absolutely justified. She was trying to murder you, but like you can see that in several places, like, shirt or her shrug and her shirt are torn, and you can see like stitches and scars are like coming unsewn again as she's just holding, and you can see her arm is like crackling with energy and it's shaking. Just that portion of the arm is shaking as she is touching the headstone and crying.
And
That's her, right? And you.
It's me.
And we'll leave with this because this is the image that hits all of you at the same time. As just for a moment, you're all transported back to what appears to be a village that appears to be maybe the late 1700s, early 1800s. Maybe, I don't know, we're not going to be historical purists here. And the image is so distinct you can smell the burning of the village. You can smell the gunpowder of flintlocks firing, and you can see people fleeing, people that are killed. And what the vision seems to then kind of focus on is a woman talking to a small child, and she just says, Maribel, go in the woods, find Shipton, and take revenge for what happened here today. And the child runs off into the woods.
Oh dear.
And that's where we'll stop.
Damn.
Damn.
Right.
But thank you everyone for coming. And this is one of those nights where I didn't even get to the actual mystery. But
Well,
Well,
our own
Fran
mystery.
was kind of one of the mysteries.
yeah,
Yeah.
we kind of created a new one on the fly in some ways.
Oops,
But-
and you're welcome.
Oops, and you're welcome. So I think that if we're asking our old questions again, we definitely learned more about the world, and we definitely learned more about the hunters. So that's and we solved the mystery, so to speak. So that's 2 XP for everybody.
I leveled
Yay!
up again.
in addition to
One more.
Hey, CJ, do you think there are any non-shitty men in your family? Sorry, not CJ. I'm sorry. I
Bryn.
said CJ
I mean-
on accident. I meant Bryn.
To be,
Sorry. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not asking about CJ's family.
No, I was
wanna know
just,
about-
I was
yeah,
making a
Bryn.
funny, but then it was dark, so
Yeah,
I decided not
They
to.
almost
Nope, we're just talking
Um,
about Bryn.
So there are reasons.
Mm. Ooh,
so
spooky.
But Cyril was not a shitty man.
Cyril was okay.
No, Cyril. Okay, you're right. Cyril was not shitty, and he was actually there are no longer any non-shitty men. In
I was gonna say the answer is there were.
There
There
were.
were, yeah,
I
but
know.
there could be a reason why some of them might be pushed to do extreme things.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
But not Cyril. He was a pretty stand-up
Oh.
guy. He was a victim of circumstance.
Listen, Cyril is absolutely an albatross on Fran's neck. He will forever be her albatross.
so
Fair.
you're gonna have to tune in next time to see what happens
Oh.
next. But again, we thank you all for coming. We hope to see you again next time.
We love you.
Take care, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.